Broncos Country, welcome back. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with your friends. And of course, hit that bell icon so you never miss a single Broncos update. Your Denver Broncos are heading into Philadelphia with a mix of good, bad, and surprising news on the injury front. And when you look at the numbers, the analytics, and the way this team has been playing, you have to wonder, why is anyone counting the Broncos out this Sunday? This defensive line has been dominant all season, battling in the trenches and setting the tone. But in the back of every fan's mind, there's been one big question: when will the Broncos' best run stopper, Malcolm Roach, finally return? This was supposed to be his week. Teammates like DJ Jones have made it clear how much his presence means, not just his ability to shut down the run, but the fire and energy he brings to the locker room. He's the kind of player who raises the level of everyone around him. That's why fans were buzzing with anticipation. But here's the shocker: Denver hasn't activated his return-to-play window, and Roach did not practice today. That's a major surprise, and it leaves a big question mark heading into a showdown against Saquon Barkley and the Eagles' powerful offense. Stopping Philadelphia's infamous tush-push requires a wall of strength up front, and Roach would have been the perfect piece to anchor that battle. Last week, we saw rookie Savon Jones get his first taste of action on the defensive line. He flashed potential, but as with any rookie, there are growing pains. This week, the Broncos will need every ounce of grit and toughness from their young defenders to hold the line against one of the NFL's most physical rushing attacks. Now, let's talk about the rest of the news, and Broncos Country, it's actually loaded with positives. Sure, rookie Savon Jones may not be as stout against the infamous tush-push as Malcolm Roach, but this defense has already shown it can hang tough. And when Roach finally returns, he'll make an already dangerous unit even stronger. The bad news of the day? Guard Quinn Meinerz didn't practice. But before panic sets in, head coach Sean Payton cleared the air: it's just an illness. Nothing long-term, nothing serious. He's expected to be fine. Of course, you just hope it doesn't spread through the locker room. On the bright side, the injury report brought plenty of good news. Marvin Mims, who popped up with a hip concern before the Bengals game, looked fantastic and has been a full participant in practice. Evan Ingram, working his way back from a back issue, was also a full go. And Nate Atkins is back in action too. That's rare this deep into the season, especially after the Broncos went through a brutal divisional battle just 2 weeks ago. Across the league, most teams have injury lists so long they take 10 minutes just to read through. Denver's? Surprisingly short. And with players like Malcolm Roach and Dre Greenlaw expected back soon, things are trending in the right direction. But here's the part that fires me up: the so-called experts, the advanced analytics, the national voices, they're saying the Broncos don't have a chance in Philadelphia. None. Zero. Let me remind you, last year, this team was a 6.5-point underdog to the mighty Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and look how that turned out. Last year, the Broncos walked into Tampa Bay as heavy underdogs, and absolutely mollyhopped the Buccaneers. The national media didn't see it coming, but Broncos Country did. And here we are again, history repeating itself. The analysts say Denver doesn't have a chance, but the numbers tell a very different story. Let's start with the running backs. When you look at EPA per rush, guess who ranks second in the entire league? That's right, a Denver Bronco. When was the last time we could say that with a straight face? The Broncos have one of the most efficient backs in all of football right now. That's not hype, that's cold, hard data. And you know who's not on that list? Saquon Barkley. In fact, by the numbers, J.K. Dobbins has outperformed Barkley this season. That's not bias, that's the reality. But it doesn't stop there. When you flip the script and check the wide receiver EPA leaderboard, Courtland Sutton comes in at number 4. Yes, number 4 in the entire league. And again, look closely. Do you see a single Philadelphia Eagle wideout on that list? Not one. Their so-called top receiver is busy firing off cryptic tweets about not being respected and not getting the ball. And honestly, how could he be happy when his quarterback didn't complete a single pass in the second half of their last game? Now, don't get me wrong. The Eagles are undefeated. They're 4-0, and that deserves respect. They've been a powerhouse, no doubt. But let's not ignore the context. Their most recent win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers came against a team missing their WR1, Mike Evans. That's a very different battle than what they'll face against a hungry Denver squad with a chip on its shoulder. Let's not forget the context behind the Eagles' undefeated record. Their win over Tampa Bay? That came against a Bucs team missing their starting running back, Bucky Irving, and without their best offensive lineman, Tristan Wirfs. Even then, Philadelphia barely escaped with the victory. Their other big win came against the Kansas City Chiefs, a team that's been more hype than substance early in the season. And in that matchup, the Chiefs were missing Xavier Worthy. Once again, the Eagles barely held on. Add in their narrow victory over the Cowboys, a game most expected Philadelphia to dominate, and suddenly that 4-0 record doesn't look so untouchable. Meanwhile, Denver isn't just playing good football, they're building a case as one of the most complete teams in the league. The numbers don't lie. EPA has our running back ranked top 2 in the NFL. Courtland Sutton sits as a top 4 wide receiver. And according to Pro Football Focus, the Broncos boast the best pass rush in football. That's not bias, that's fact. With 15 sacks already, this defense is on pace to shatter last year's mark. Nearly half the time an opposing quarterback drops back, he's under fire. And just imagine the havoc when Malcolm Roach and Dre Greenlaw return to the lineup. Flip it to the other side of the ball, and PFF once again shows Denver dominance. The Broncos' offensive line currently grades out as the best in the NFL. That means this team doesn't just win in the trenches defensively, they control the line of scrimmage offensively, too. So ask yourself, if Denver has the best defense in football, the best offensive line, a top 2 running back, and a top 4 wide receiver, why, exactly, are they underdogs? Sometimes, it feels like I'm taking crazy pills. How is everyone so quick to pick the Eagles to roll over the Broncos? Where's the logic in that? Yes, I get it, Philadelphia is a tough place to play. Yes, it's an early 11 a.m. kickoff. And yes, Denver just came off a Monday night battle. But here's the truth, that Bengals game was over by halftime. The Broncos were so dominant that their top edge rushers only had to play about 60% of the snaps. That means fresh legs, fresh energy, and a defense ready to unleash in Philadelphia. Now, let's talk quarterbacks. Last season, the Eagles' defensive line was a nightmare, a Super Bowl-caliber unit that terrorized Patrick Mahomes. But that group has taken a step back. They lost talent, and while they can still pressure, they aren't the same wall of destruction they once were. And here's where Denver has the edge, Bo Nix. Nobody in the league right now is better at escaping pressure, buying time, and making plays. We saw it last week against the Bengals, when Nix delivered a career-best performance, the kind that earned him AFC Offensive Player of the Week consideration. When Nix figures things out, it's dangerous for the rest of the NFL. And against Cincinnati, he looked like a quarterback who's starting to unlock his full potential. One last stat to fire you up, this season, only one team in the entire NFL has held the lead for more offensive snaps than the Broncos, the Jacksonville Jaguars. And let's be honest, Jacksonville hasn't faced the same level of competition Denver has. So ask yourself again, why are the Broncos being overlooked? This season has been proof of just how good the Denver Broncos truly are. They've led for the majority of their snaps, holding control in game after game. And when you stack that up against Philadelphia, the Broncos come out ahead. The Eagles are vulnerable, and this matchup feels like the perfect chance for Denver to knock them off. Even the national voices are starting to notice. Analysts are pointing to Bo Nix as a sneaky MVP candidate. Compare his numbers through 4 games this year to last season, and the growth is undeniable. If that progression continues, Nick isn't just going to keep Denver in games, he's going to win them. And that's why this trip to Philadelphia feels different. The Broncos are heading in with confidence, with momentum, and with a quarterback who looks ready to take over. From there, it's on to London, and if Denver handles business, they'll be carrying back-to-back statement wins. Broncos Country, the belief is real. This team has the talent, the fight, and the heart to shock the NFL world. And come Sunday, don't be surprised when Denver walks out of Philadelphia with a victory. If you're fired up for this matchup, let's ride together. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with your friends. And make sure you hit that bell icon so you never miss a Broncos update. This is just the beginning, the best is yet to come.